In a future military clash between China and the United States, the first salvo may not be launched by ships or fighter jets. It may occur quietly in space. At the center of this strategic contest lies China's Beidou Satellite Navigation System, a constellation that enables everything from precision missile strikes to global logistics coordination. For the United States, disrupting Beidou would weaken China's military agility. For China, such a move could trigger escalation with unpredictable consequences. This is not just about satellites but about sovereignty, deterrence, and the emerging rules of space conflict. The risks are high and the stakes are global. The Beidou Navigation Satellite System is not just a Chinese alternative to the American Global Positioning System. It is the product of 3 decades of strategic investment, designed to ensure that China's military and civilian infrastructure does not depend on foreign-controlled navigation systems. With more than 150 satellites in orbit, Beidou provides high-precision location, navigation, and timing services across the globe. Beidou's origins are rooted in vulnerability. In the year 1996, during the Taiwan Strait crisis, China launched missiles as a form of warning, only to find them veering off course. The reason was simple but profound. The U.S. military had restricted GPS access. That event triggered a major rethink within China's defense establishment. The result was the decision to develop an independent satellite navigation network that could not be denied in future conflicts. Since then, Beidou has become embedded in the full spectrum of Chinese military operations. From ballistic missiles to fighter aircraft, from naval operations to drone coordination, Beidou enables synchronized movements and precision targeting. According to open-source assessments, Chinese anti-ship ballistic missiles such as the Dongfeng 21D and Dongfeng 26 rely heavily on data from Beidou to identify, track, and engage moving targets at sea. The implications are significant. Accurate targeting in the open ocean is notoriously difficult. A missile striking a mobile carrier battle group from thousands of kilometers away requires precise positioning, advanced tracking, and real-time updates. Without Beidou, such operations would face far higher error margins. With Beidou, China has the capability to credibly threaten high-value U.S. assets in the Pacific. One of the most debated questions in military analysis today is whether a U.S. attack on the Beidou system could effectively paralyze China's missile forces. In theory, removing satellite support would reduce the accuracy and reliability of long-range Chinese weapon systems. Without precise timing and geolocation, command and control operations, targeting systems, and force coordination could be degraded. However, Chinese missile systems are built with layered redundancies. Inertial navigation systems using gyroscopes allow missiles to fly toward their targets even without satellite input. Terrain matching algorithms compare preloaded topographic data with actual terrain during flight to refine trajectories. Terminal guidance is often provided by radar or infrared seekers, which can independently identify targets in the final phase. Take the Dongfeng 21D as an example. This anti-ship ballistic missile begins its journey using inertial guidance, refines its course by comparing terrain features, and completes the mission with dual-mode seekers that lock onto the target. This design allows the missile to function even in GPS or Beidou-denied environments, with an estimated circular error probable of less than 100 meters. Thus, while degrading Beidou would complicate China's targeting, it would not eliminate its strike capabilities. The effect would be to slow down or reduce the accuracy of coordinated attacks, not stop them altogether. U.S. military planners understand this. Their simulations of conflict with China consider Beidou disruption as one move in a broader strategy, not a silver bullet. Neutralizing Beidou is not a simple technical challenge. The constellation consists of satellites distributed across multiple orbital planes, including medium Earth orbit, inclined geosynchronous orbit, and geostationary orbit. This architecture enhances redundancy and ensures overlapping coverage. Each satellite is equipped with anti-jamming technology. Signal frequencies are encrypted and frequently changed to evade interception. Phased array antennas can steer beams away from known jamming sources. Some satellites are reported to have onboard quantum communication links, which offer theoretical immunity to eavesdropping or spoofing. Furthermore, China has invested heavily in protecting Beidou from physical attack. In 2007, it demonstrated the ability to shoot down satellites by destroying one of its own at an altitude of 800 kilometers. Later, it tested longer-range systems that could threaten satellites in geostationary orbit, where GPS satellites reside. If the United States were to strike Beidou kinetically, it would likely provoke symmetrical retaliation. Both sides possess anti-satellite weapons capable of creating space debris that could render low Earth orbit unusable for decades. This nightmare scenario, known as Kessler syndrome, would imperil not just military satellites but also commercial assets, weather forecasting systems and global communications. As a result, both China and the United States have quietly explored alternative strategies: cyber operations, electronic warfare, and signal spoofing. But even these softer forms of disruption face growing obstacles, as Beidou's architecture becomes more autonomous and resilient. Beidou's strategic value is not limited to military functions. It has quietly become part of the global digital infrastructure. As of 2024, more than 130 countries have entered into some form of cooperation agreement with China concerning Beidou services. These agreements span agriculture, transportation, disaster response, and infrastructure monitoring. In the Strait of Malacca, Beidou aids navigation for supertankers. In the oil fields of Saudi Arabia, it supports drilling alignment. In Africa, it is used to track desert locust movements. Across Asia and Latin America, Beidou terminals assist in logistics and construction planning. This global footprint has extended China's soft power and created interdependencies that complicate military calculations. If Beidou were disrupted, the impact would not be confined to Chinese territory or Chinese military units. The effects could ripple across global trade routes, energy supply chains, and civilian navigation systems. In this sense, attacking Beidou would not only be a strategic blow, it could also trigger commercial and diplomatic fallout that undermines U.S. alliances and market stability. Ironically, there are even reports that U.S. military personnel in some forward-deployed locations have purchased commercial Beidou receivers to supplement their own navigation systems. This suggests that Beidou's technical advantages, such as signal redundancy and rapid satellite acquisition, are recognized even within adversarial militaries. China has enshrined Beidou's status in national law. Under the national security law passed in 2015, critical infrastructure, including satellite systems, is considered part of China's territorial integrity. Any attack on these assets would legally be treated as an attack on the homeland, thereby justifying a full-scale response. This legal framing is not just rhetorical. It is intended to deter potential adversaries by raising the political and strategic costs of attacking China's space systems. Just as the United States views its satellite constellations as critical national assets, China views Beidou as a foundational pillar of its sovereignty, deterrence posture, and technological prestige. The addition of artificial intelligence capabilities to the Beidou system further complicates matters. By 2025, China is expected to deploy a dozen new satellites capable of autonomous signal management and counter-jamming responses. In some configurations, these satellites may be able to identify hostile interference, pinpoint its origin, and authorize responsive measures, all within a matter of minutes. This shift toward automation accelerates the tempo of space operations and introduces the risk of unintended escalation. A pre-programmed satellite response could activate before human decision-makers have time to evaluate the situation. In the high-stakes realm of space warfare, such dynamics pose significant challenges to crisis management and conflict prevention. Conclusion: a conflict that begins above the Earth. As the global strategic landscape evolves, space has become the newest domain of competition. China's Beidou system is more than a technological achievement. It is a military enabler, a geopolitical tool, and a symbol of national autonomy. Its integration into global infrastructure gives it strategic depth, while its legal protection under Chinese law gives it political weight. In the event of AU.S.China military confrontation, targeting Beidou may seem like a way to neutralize China's strike capabilities. But such a move could unleash broader consequences: military, commercial, and environmental. It would likely be interpreted in Beijing not as a tactical disruption, but as a strategic escalation. Both sides have the capacity to disable each other's satellite systems. Both understand that doing so could permanently damage the space environment. And both are racing to build resilience, redundancy, and retaliatory options in this new domain of conflict. Beidou, then, is not just a satellite network. It is a litmus test for the future of deterrence, sovereignty, and the rules of war in space. How it is treated in a crisis may determine whether great power competition remains contained, or whether it crosses the threshold into something far more dangerous.